Well, good morning, members. All members will please come to the floor. All members, please come to the floor. Members will please come to the floor. The hour for convening having arrived, all members will please come to the floor and take their seats. Mr. Clerk, will you please ring the bell? All members, we're going to have the morning roll call. All members present in the chamber will please vote green to signify their presence in the chamber. And Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machines? Have all members voted? All members voted, I believe. If so, Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machines? Doorkeepers, will you please close the doors and keep them closed? As is our custom here in the house, we will begin our day with scripture reading and prayer by the chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. Our chaplain this morning will be introduced by the gentleman from the 73rd House District, Chairman Josh Bonner. Chairman Bonner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. It truly is my honor today to introduce Lieutenant Colonel Andy Parker as our chaplain of the day. Chaplain Parker has completed 27 years of uniformed service and will actually be retiring this March. Following 11 years of enlisted service in the Air Force, Lieutenant Colonel Parker received a direct commission in the United States Army National Guard. Since joining the Guard in 2009, he's completed 5 deployments to include tours in the Middle East and to our southern border. As a chaplain, Lieutenant Colonel Parker is charged with religious support of soldiers and their families and must possess the highest standards of discretion, integrity, and professional ethics. Lieutenant Colonel Parker is a constituent of House District 73 and a resident of Peachtree City, where he and his wife run a small business providing test prep and tutoring services to our community. Chaplain Parker.
Well, it's a privilege to be with you this morning. I want to thank you for your service to our state. Each of you have been elected by your constituents, and brought into this chamber to represent their interest, and I am grateful and thankful for each one of you being willing to serve this great state. You know, we live the greatest state of the Union. Here from the beaches to the mountains, from the farmlands to the bends, from Augusta to Columbus, from Brunswick to Waycross to Valdosta, from Blue Ridge to Toccoa, we live in the greatest state in the Union. People from all over the world come to this country, from this country coming to this state, and each of you have been given the privilege and the responsibility to enable economic growth, the welfare of all, and the protection of those who are unable to protect themselves. The scripture reminds us that to whom much is given, much is required. Our state's been blessed with abundant resources, talented workforce, and incredible leaders from small to great. And I want to encourage each one of you, as you represent your constituents, to speak with boldness, to speak the needs of those that you represent, and to stand firm on what is right and good. The prophet Micah, when he was asking the Lord, what do I do as a leader? How do I represent those that I'm interceding for? How do I do that before Almighty God? He asked God, what does the Lord require of me? And here's what the Lord said. He said, the Lord said, to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. I want to encourage you with those 3 quick points this morning. To do justly, it means to be righteous and equitable and have moral clarity in everything you do. It is a call to action, not to be silent and not to be complacent, but to especially represent those who are vulnerable, who are abused, mistreated, and in need, scorned, and exploited. As you do your work, stand in the gap for those. Speak boldly and with great courage as you do your work in this house. The second thing, not only are we to do justly, but it says to love mercy. That word mercy is a community word. It has to do with a covenant together. When we are living together in a community, we are trusting those to our right and trusting those to our left. And this word loving mercy means to be faithful to those around us. It's a community where we're depicting the idea of unity of spirit and of mind and of focus. God delights in showing us his covenant faithfulness. It is who he is. And only because he has shown his mercy and faithfulness to us can we do that to others. And as you accomplish your work in these chambers, I encourage you to strive for unity. Exhibit the community for which this institution was designed. And the last thing is to walk humbly. To walk humbly with your God. Walking in the spirit of humility means to demonstrate respect for others. Respect in what we say, respect in what we do, how we interact with those around us. We demonstrate the humility of our own hearts in the way we treat other people. Other people aren't just a way that brings us some good or some benefit, but they are people because they have been created by a holy God. So be humble in the way you interact with others. It has to do with the value of every individual, the meaning and purpose of every man or woman. Humility is the opposite of pride and arrogance. When we have the opportunity to stand before others, sometimes our internal character is tested. The scripture says, the crucible for silver and the furnace for gold, but a man is tested by the praise of others. Be careful when people begin to praise you for who you are and what position you hold. Humility is the opposite of pride. Don't think of yourselves more highly than you ought, but listen to this. Be teachable. Be open to beneficial conversation in these chambers. You represent those who have selected you to come and represent in this chamber, but be open to the conversations that represent them well. Be able to be instructed. Be quick to listen, slow to speak. Great leaders influence. Each of you have been charged with the responsibility of influence. I offer these commands from our Lord as an exercise of your leadership in this house to do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly. Would you join me in prayer? Almighty God, maker of heaven and earth, all we have, all we see, hear, smell, and touch is from your hand. You have abundantly blessed this people, this city, this state, this nation. We recognize our full and complete dependence on you for life, wisdom, understanding, protection, and liberty. As this body of leaders continues their work, may those tasks and conversations be characterized by professionalism, precision, and unity. Fill them with the thoughts of your mind and heart, that they may do their work justly, mercifully, and humbly. Grant them a spirit of community, and though they may have disagreements, may they not be disagreeable, but rather be singly focused on determining the best path forward for the people, businesses, and agencies of this great state. And when this body of leaders is complete with their task, may others around the country see the progress of this house and the people of Georgia, and know that we continue to strive for excellence through justice, mercy, and humility. And now may the name of the Lord be praised. Amen. Would you join me? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Colonel Parker, for that message. Doorkeepers will unlock the doors. Members, you may greet Colonel Parker in the South Ante room and have a photo opportunity with him, and we appreciate you being here again. And thank you for your service to our state, and good luck in your retirement. Today, we can thank Chair Lady Katie Dempsey for bringing us our Doctor of the Day, Dr. J. Michael Ware, who will be taking care of us today. If you have any health concerns, please join Dr. Ware, and I'm sure that they will be addressed. Chair recognizes Chairman Tarvin, the Chair of the Committee on Information and Audits. Chairman Tarvin.
Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Information and Audits has read the journal from the previous legislative day and found it to be correct. On another note, the things that we fear doing most are usually the things we need to do most.
I'm going to have to agree with you again, Chairman Tarvin. I think you are spot on. And I'm going to try to heed that and move forward with some things. Chairman Tarvin, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, reports that the journal of the previous legislative day have been read and found to be correct. Is there any objection to dispense with the reading of the journal? Chair hears none. The reading of the journal is dispensed with. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal? Chair hears none, and the journal is confirmed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day?
Representative Administration of the 104th moves following be established as the order of business during the first part of the period. Unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of House bills and resolutions. Second reading of bills and resolutions. Reports of standing committees. Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of Senate bills and resolutions. Morning orders.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day. Chair hears none. The resolution is adopted. First reading of bills and resolutions. Mr. Clerk, will you read?
House Bill 1010 by Representative Jones, the 47th, Dempsey, the 13th, Silcox, the 53rd, Ballard, the 147th, Daniel, the 117th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 20 of Title 45, the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to personnel administration.
Public and community health.
House Bill 1011 by Representative Montano, the 17th, Gola, the 19th, Daniels, the 117th, Lever to the 123rd, Cannon, the 172nd, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 3365 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to other unfair methods of competition.
Insurance.
House Bill 1012 by Representative Williams, the 148th. Bill be titled an act to provide for the compensation of the Wilcox County Board of Education.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1013 by Representative Thomas, the 21st, Parsons, the 44th, Carson, the 46th, Byrd of the 20th. Bill be titled an act to amend an act providing a homestead exemption from all City of Woodstock ad valorem taxes.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1014 by Representative Werkheiser, the 157th, Reeves, the 99th, Silcox, the 53rd, Holcomb, the 81st, Smith, the 18th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 17 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to criminal procedure.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 1015 by Representative McDonald of the 26th, Blackman of the 146th, Jones of the 47th, Hong of the 103rd, Wade of the 9th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 2, Chapter 7 of Title 48 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to the imposition rate computation exemptions and credits relative to income taxes.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 1016 by Representative Bruce, the 61st, Thomas, the 65th, Glaze, the 67th, Miller, the 62nd, Willis of the 55th, and others. Bill be titled an act to create the City of South Fulton Public Facilities Authority.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1017 by Representative Seaball, the 34th, Reeves, the 99th, Burchetta, the 176th, Crowe, the 118th, Silcox, the 53rd, and others. Bill be entitled an act to amend Code Section 16-721 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to criminal trespass.
Judiciary.
House Bill 1018 by Representative Ridley, the 6th, Rhodes, the 124th, Burchetta, the 176th, Williams, the 148th, Ridley, the 22nd, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Titles 10 and 16 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to commerce and trade. Yes, sir.
Banks and banking.
House Bill 1019 by Representative Reeves, the 99th, Burns, the 159th, Blackman, the 146th, Jones, the 47th, Knight of the 134th, and others. Bill be entitled an act to amend Part 1 of Article 2 of Chapter 5 of Title 46, Title 48 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to tax exemptions.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 1020 by Representative Saints, the 180th, Ballard of the 147th, Burchetta, the 176th, LaHood of the 175th, and Blackman of the 146th. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 48.7, 40.1 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to tax credits.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 1021 by Representative Daniel, the 117th, Burns, the 159th, Blackman of the 146th, Williamson of the 112th, Silcox of the 53rd, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 2 of Chapter 7 on Title 48 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to the imposition rate computation exemptions and credits relative to income taxes.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 1022 by Representative Saints of the 180th, Smith of the 18th, Dempsey the 13th, Maynard of the 56th, and Townsend of the 179th. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 5 of Chapter 5 of Title 16 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to cruelty to children.
Juvenile Justice.
House Bill 1023 by Representative Williamson of the 112th, Blackman of the 146th, Crowe the 118th, Silcox of the 53rd, Hilton of the 48th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 2 of Chapter 7 of Title 48 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to the imposition rate computation, exemptions, and credits relative to income taxes.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 1024 by Representative Blackman of the 146th, Williamson of the 112th, Wade of the 9th, Hong of the 103rd, Meeks of the 178th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 1 of Article 4, Chapter 12 of Title 45 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to management of budgetary and fiscal affairs.
Appropriations.
House Bill 1025 by Representative Ridley of the 22nd, Thomas of the 21st, Jaspers of the 11th, Ballinger of the 23rd, Jones of the 47th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend an act providing a homestead exemption from a Cherokee County School District ad valorem taxes.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 1026 by Representative Hagan of the 156th, Demonstration of the 104th, Burchett of the 176th, Jones of the 47th, Saints of the 180th, and others. The bill be titled an act to amend Article 3, Chapter 3, Title 50 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to state symbols.
Special rules.
House Bill 1027 by Representative Ballard of the 147th, Jones of the 25th, Irwin of the 32nd, Dubnik of the 29th, and Horner of the 3rd. Bill being titled an act to amend Part 2 of Article 6 of Chapter 2, Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to competencies and core curriculum.
Education.
House Bill 1028 by Representative LaHood of the 175th, Cooper of the 45th, Dempsey of the 13th, Hilton of the 48th, and Oliver of the 82nd. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to education.
Public and community health.
House Bill 1029 by Representative Mathiak of the 74th, Cooper of the 45th, Maynard of the 56th, Camp of the 135th, and Hagan of the 156th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 12 of Title 31 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to control of hazardous conditions.
Public and community health.
House Bill 1030 by Representative Crowe of the 118th, Daniel of the 117th, Camp of the 135th, Mathiak of the 74th, Saints of the 180th, and others. The bill be titled an act to amend Title 19 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to domestic relations. Yes.
Public and community health.
House Bill 1031 by Representative Blackman of the 146th, Knight of the 134th, Martin of the 49th, and Crowe of the 118th. Bill be titled Act to amend Chapter 5 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to ad valorem taxation on property.
Ways and means.
House Bill 1032 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 63rd. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 3 of Title 44 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to regulation of specialized land transactions.
Judiciary.
House Resolution 854 by Representative Hunnison of the 72nd, Jaspers of the 11th, Collins of the 71st, and Smith of the 18th. A resolution honoring the life of Mr. Keith Jackson and dedicating an intersection in his memory.
Transportation.
House Resolution 869 by Representative Bruce of the 61st, Jackson of the 68th, Williams of the 168th, Gilliard of the 162nd, and Alexander of the 66th, and others. A resolution urging the Secretary of State to keep Donald John Trump off any and all ballots.
Rules.
House Resolution 870 by Representative Schofield of the 63rd, Kendrick of the 95th, Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Hutchinson of the 106th. A resolution urging Congress to renew or extend the Affordable Connectivity Program.
Energy, utilities, and telecommunications.
Senate Bill 338 by Senator Setzler of the 37th, Kirkpatrick of the 32nd, and Albers of the 56th. A bill be titled an act to amend an act providing for the elections of members of the Board of Education of Cobb County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
That completes first readers.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 991 by Representative Blackman of the 146th, Hatchett of the 155th, Beverly of the 143rd, Parrish of the 158th, Newton of the 127th, and others. A bill relating to the Hospital Medicaid Financing Program. House Bill 992 by Representative Blackman of the 146th, Ballard of the 147th, Williams of the 148th, and Dickey of the 145th. A bill relating to the number of judges of superior courts. House Bill 993 by Representative Powell of the 33rd, Smith of the 18th, Ridley of the 6th, McCollum of the 30th, Collins of the 71st, and others. A bill relating to offenses related to minors. House Bill 994 by Representative Powell of the 33rd, Rhodes of the 124th, Leverett of the 123rd, Cox of the 28th, Barrett of the 24th, and others. A bill relating to torts and waters of the state, ports, and watercraft. House Bill 995 by Representative Bonner of the 73rd, Cannon of the 172nd, Ballard of the 147th, Sains of the 180th, Wade of the 9th. A bill relating to effectiveness of educational programs. House Bill 996 by Representative Vance of the 133rd, Gullett of the 19th, Powell of the 33rd, Hitchens of the 161st, and Leverett of the 123rd. A bill relating to general provisions relative to jails. House Bill 997 by Representative Corbett of the 174th, Ridley of the 6th, Hitchens of the 161st, Prince of the 132nd, Powell of the 33rd. A bill relating to disqualification from driving and action required after suspending, revoking, or canceling license of non-resident privileges. House Bill 998 by Representative Horner of the 3rd, Cox of the 28th, Barrett of the 24th, Ridley of the 22nd, Jaspers of the 11th, and others. A bill relating to primaries and elections. House Bill 999 by Representative Smith of the 70th, Green of the 154th, Jackson of the 128th, Stinson of the 150th, Cannon of the 172nd. A bill relating to general provisions applicable to counties only. House Bill 1000 by Representative Anderson of the 10th, Mathis of the 149th, Gunter of the 8th, Cannon of the 172nd, Irwin of the 32nd. A bill relating to prohibition of political subdivisions from imposing various taxes, ceiling on local sales and use taxes, and taxation of mobile telecommunications. House Bill 1001 by Representative Perkle of the 169th, Corbett of the 174th, Collins of the 71st. A bill relating to issuance, expiration, and renewal of driver's license. House Bill 1002 Representative Camp of the 135th, Mathiak of the 74th, Powell of the 33rd, Jaspers of the 11th, Chastain of the 7th, and others. A bill relating to lottery for education. House Bill 1003 by Representative Donahue of the 31st, Gaines of the 120th, Irwin of the 32nd, Persinger of the 119th. A bill to provide a homestead exemption from Jackson County School District ad valorem taxes. House Bill 1004 by Representative Donahue of the 31st, Gaines of the 120th, Irwin of the 32nd, Persinger of the 119th. A bill to amend an act providing a homestead exemption from Jackson County School District ad valorem taxes. House Bill 1005 by Representative Lim of the 98th, Camp of the 135th, Carpenter of the 4th, Maynard of the 56th, Owl of the 50th, and others. A bill relating to insurance. House Bill 1006 by Representative Lim of the 98th, Maynard of the 56th, Jackson of the 128th, Dempsey of the 13th, Irwin of the 32nd, and others. A bill relating to suicide prevention, awareness, training, in elementary and secondary education. House Bill 1007 by Representative Leverett of the 123rd, a bill to amend an act to reconstitute and reestablish the Board of Elections and Registration for Lincoln County. House Bill 1008 by Representative Leverett of the 123rd, a bill to amend an act consolidating the offices of Tax Receiver and Tax Collector of Lincoln County into the Office of Tax Commissioner of Lincoln County. House Bill 1009 by Representative Byrd of the 20th, a bill relating to dangerous instrumentalities and practices. House Resolution 836 by Representative Schofield of the 63rd, Beverly of the 143rd, Hughley of the 141st, Roberts of the 52nd, Davis of the 87th, and others. A resolution proposing amendment to the Constitution so as to provide that every individual has a fundamental right to reproductive freedom, and such right shall not be denied, burdened, or infringed upon unless justified by a compelling state interest. House Resolution 837 by Representative Horner of the 3rd, Cox of the 28th, Barrett of the 24th, Jaspers of the 11th, Donahue of the 31st, and others. A resolution creating a House Study Committee on Dominion Election Equipment. Through second readers.
Reports of standing committees. Clerk will read.
Representative John LaHood of the 175th District, Chairman of the Committee on Government, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Governmental Affairs said under consideration the following bills to the House. Has instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 813 do pass by committee substitute. House Bill 883 do pass by committee substitute. House Bill 905 do pass. House Bill 976 do pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative John LaHood of the 175th District, Chairman. Representative Chuck Martin of the 49th District, Chairman on Committee on Higher Education, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Higher Education had under its consideration the following bill of the House. It has instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendation. House Bill 985 do pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative Chuck Martin of the 49th District, Chairman. Representative Bill Werkheiser, the 157th District Chairman of the Committee on Industry and Labor, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Industry and Labor has had under its consideration the following bills of the House and instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 501 do pass by committee substitute. House Bill 738 do pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative Bill Werkheiser, the 157th District Chairman. Representative Beth Camp of the 135th District, Chairman on Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination Local, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination Locals had under its consideration the following bills of the House and the Senate. It has instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 863 do pass. House Bill 864 do pass. House Bill 866 do pass. House Bill 921 do pass. House Bill 951 do pass. House Bill 953 do pass. House Bill 954 do pass. House Bill 979 do pass. House Bill 865 do pass. House Bill 877 do pass. Senate Bill 299 do pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative Beth Camp of the 135th District, Chairman. Representative Gunner of the 8th District, Chairman of the Committee on Judiciary, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Judiciary has had under its consideration the following bills of the House. It's instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 628 do pass. House Bill 884 do pass by committee substitute. House Bill 906 do pass by committee substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Gunner of the 8th District, Chairman. Representative Jay Collins, the 71st District, Chairman of the Committee on Public Safety and Homeland Security, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Public Safety and Homeland Security has had under its consideration the following bill of the House. It's instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendation. House Bill 451 do pass by committee substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Jay Collins, the 71st District, Chairman. That completes the reading of the reports of standing committees.
All members will return to the floor and take your seats. We have a local calendar today. We need to vote on a local calendar. Members will please take your seats. We have a local calendar. We'll have the third reading and passage of the uncontested local bills. Now, two of the bills on the calendar relate to homestead exemption and require a recorded 2/3 roll call vote for passage. If there is no objection, we will vote on the local calendar as a whole with a recorded vote. Hearing none, it is so ordered. Mr. Clerk, will you read the local calendar?
House Bill 863 by Representative Campbell, 171st City of Bainbridge. House Bill 864 by Representative Green in the 154th Miller County. House Bill 866 by Representative Campbell, 135th Pike County. House Bill 921 by Representative Bernau of the 77th City of Forest Park. House Bill 751 by Representative Gunner of the 8th Towns County. House Bill 953 by Representative Green in the 154th Calhoun County. House Bill 954 by Representative Parrish in the 158th Emmanuel County. House Bill 979 by Representative Gamble of the 15th Bartow County. Senate Bill 299 by Senator Mallow of the 2nd City of Fort Wentworth. House Bill 865 by Representative Campbell, the 135th, Lamar County. House Bill 877 by Representative Lumsden of the 12th, Chattooga County.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered on the local calendar? Chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bills? Chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall these bills now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bills on the local calendar will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machines? Almost. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machines? On the passage of the bills on the local calendar, the yeas are 154, the nays are 0. These bills having received the requisite constitutional majority are therefore passed. Okay, we're moving on to morning orders. Okay, members, we're moving on to morning orders. We have 10 minutes for morning orders, and we have 6 morning orders, so I can assure you, you're going to have a maximum time of 2 minutes. We have some other important issues we need to take up today, so I'm going to recognize Representative Jordan Ridley for a morning order. Two minutes, Representative.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, today we stand to honor the life and legacy of Ranger Steve Hadley, who
Members, would you join us?
Ranger Hadley passed away during the holiday season at Etowah Indian Mound State Park. Working at the Department of Natural Resources, Steve Hadley personally trained myself and Rangers all across the state. His friendship and mentorship has guided Rangers across the state for over 2 decades, and Rangers across the state feel the loss. Today we are joined by members of the Department of Natural Resources in the gallery who will be receiving a signed resolution recognizing Steve's service and memory to the state. So afterwards, we will be presenting this with them if anyone would like to join us for a photo. And at this time, if we can just have a moment of silence recognizing. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Thank you, members. Commissioner, members of the team at DNR, Steve was a good guy. Remember him well, so certainly he will be missed, and we appreciate the service you provide to our state in so many different ways at DNR. Thank y'all. Thanks for being here. When the appropriate time comes, we'll invite you down to the South Ante room for some photos and greet some of the members. Thank you, Commissioner. Representative Will Wade, I think, has some friends here that he would like to recognize. Representative Wade, are you in the building? Oh, yeah, you are. Clear the aisle, clear the aisle. Governor Floor Leader Will Wade and Representative Johnny Chastain for a morning order. That's not 2 minutes each either.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Speaker. Good morning, everybody. If I could have you all look to the beautiful corner upstairs, we've got the Dawson County Chamber of Commerce Youth Leadership Program here. We've got a lot of great Dawson County High School juniors who are here to learn about leadership, what goes on in the People's House and this building. And just so you know, folks, like good Georgians, they came to the Georgia House before they went to visit the Georgia Senate. So thank you very much for being here, and we're honored to have you at our Capitol today. God bless you all. Once a tiger, always a tiger.
Special part of our state, welcome. We're glad to have you in the People's House. Thank you for being here. Representative Okoye is recognized. There he comes. Representative Okoye for a morning order. Good to see you this morning, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. I rise this morning to recognize the men and women of the Georgia Public Safety Department, especially the Georgia Patrol, State Patrol, Post number 50, and the Georgia Capitol Police. These men and women keep us safe in this house as we do the people's business. And they are standing right there in the gallery. Please help me say thank you to them. We do not take your service for granted. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative. I can't say it any better than that, other than I'll just add my thank you for what you, ladies and gentlemen, do for us and do for our state and the people of our state. It's good to see y'all. You look good standing up there. Absolutely. Good to have y'all. Thank you for being here. Let's see. We have a distinguished group here. Representative Roberts, Pro Tem Jones, Chairman Martin, Representative Al. Has she recovered from giving blood yesterday?
Me?
She has. Come on, Representative Al, come on up. You're a part of this team.
I don't know if Chuck's here. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. I think it's so important that we encourage and recognize the accomplishments of our young people. Today, I would like to recognize two exemplary students, Cynthia Bai and Johan Spadjal, for founding and growing the Making an Impact Project. This student-run initiative based at Alpharetta High School does an exceptional job of bringing awareness and inspiring action against the challenges faced by those who are paralyzed in our community. It was created in response to the alarming lack of awareness within the Alpharetta community, where only 10% of the student population was informed about paralysis and its profound effects. Determined to address this issue, they aim to create an inclusive platform for both paralysis victims and professionals working in the field. Through Making an Impact, they successfully bridged the awareness gap, cultivated understanding, and encouraged meaningful action. They've reached more than 300 students through collaborations, school clubs, and community engagements, and have made a significant impact on both students and adults. They've been able to do this through workshops, guest speakers, tutoring sessions, and collaborating with organizations like Next Step, a local nonprofit organization that works to find affordable health care for paralysis patients. This is not their first inspiring project, and I suspect it won't be the last. These young folks are identifying problems and executing solutions. So Johans and Cynthia, will you please stand so we can thank you for your initiative and hard work? Where are they? Oh, there they are. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you for that hard work and congratulations. Thank you, representatives. Former Mayor of Savannah, Representative Edna Jackson, is hitting her stride. Here she is, Representative Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to be joined by members of the delegation as well as a person we consider a member, and that's Representative Al Scott. It is, Al Williams, Lord have mercy, you're going to kill me. Yes, you're going to kill me. I know he's going to kill me. I wouldn't be here had it been for, Al Scott. First, let me see. As you know, I represent Savannah, but in my district is Savannah State University. It is my honor and my pleasure for the past day and until the end of the week, the president of our institution is here to meet and to see all that we do here in our house, And I'm going to ask, I keep looking, I can't see, I'm going to ask Mrs. Cynthia Alexander, if you stand, oh, there she is. There she is. To give you a little background, President Alexander comes to us from the Board of Regents in an area of finance. We're just happy to have her as our president at our institution, and we're moving forward. We are the oldest historically black institution here in the state of Georgia. I hope that you will get a chance to shake her hand and also to let her know that she's going to be all right. Again, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. I think the president gets it. You're going to be fine. Yes, ma'am. I get it. I don't know about you, Al. Representative Scott. Yeah, no doubt about that, Representative Williams. Much, much better. So we've solved a problem here. We now have to give you a handle. Representative Tim Fleming, now you're our only Fleming on the floor. So Representative Fleming is recognized for a morning order. And friends.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm joined by our Newton delegation here today, Representative Carter and Representative Henderson. We're here to recognize a great group from Newton County that's with us today here at the Capitol, and that's Leadership Newton County. If y'all could stand, welcome to y'all state capitol. We're glad y'all are here and look forward to being with y'all the rest of the day. Thank y'all. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank y'all for being here. Thank you, delegation. A lot of good things going on in Newton County. We're pleased to see y'all, and thanks for being here. I appreciate y'all, the part y'all play in our state's progress. Thank you. Chairlady Camp, you're recognized for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good morning. I'm excited because I have some visitors from my district this morning. Cross Point Christian Academy, are you up in the gallery? Awesome. If you could rise and be recognized. They came here today to learn more about civics and government. So if you have an opportunity to speak to any of these wonderful future leaders, please do so. Welcome to the People's House. Thank you.
Members of the House, if you'll take your seats. Members of the House, we have an invite resolution that's pretty special, as all of our invite resolutions are, but I really like this one. I think y'all will understand why in just a moment. We have a special invite resolution, and at this time, I'll recognize the gentleman who had our chaplain of the day today as well, a member of the Georgia National Guard, Representative Josh Bonner, to speak to our resolution. Mr. Clerk, would you read the caption, please, to House Resolution 798, and then Representative Bonner, will you speak to the resolution?
House Resolution 798 by Representative Bonner of the 73rd, Clark of the 100th, Thomas of the 21st, Cannon of the 172nd, and Hitchens of the 161st. A resolution recognizing January 25th, 2024 as National Guard Day at the state capitol.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, colleagues. Today is National Guard Day here at the state capitol. It's a great day in Georgia. On your desk, you should have the 2023 annual report from the Georgia Department of Defense. I would highly encourage you to take a look through that. We have National Guard and Air Guard all throughout our state. There is someone in your community that is a member of this organization. And today it is my extreme honor to introduce to this chamber someone who is no stranger to this state, no stranger to this chamber and all of our members, Major General Tom Carden, the 43rd Adjutant General of the state of Georgia. General Carden enlisted in the Guard back in 1986, and he worked his way up through the ranks. He held every leadership position known to man to get to where he is today, and we are incredibly proud of the organization that he is a part of. General Carden will be the first to say that he does not seek the limelight at all, but he continues to shine the limelight on the organization. Joining General Carden today are some special guests. We've got Colonel Dirk Daub from the Georgia State Defense Force, Chief Master Sergeant Linda Washington from the Georgia Air National Guard, Command Sergeant Major John Ballinger from the Georgia Army National Guard, and the Assistant Adjutant General Joe Ferraro is with us today. We also have a number of guardsmen that are in our gallery today, and you'll see those folks walking around the Capitol today. Please, if you would, shake their hand, and as we always say, we thank them for their service, and we thank them for what they do for the state of Georgia. So now I'd like to turn it over for a few remarks to Major General Tom Carden.
Speaker Burns, Representative Bonner, distinguished members of the Georgia House of Representatives, it's my honor to be before you today in the chamber to represent the 15,000 men and women of your National Guard. We're committed and resolute with respect to our important missions here at home and abroad. Our portfolio of responsibility starts in the 5th grade, teaching science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to 5th through 8th graders through our Peach State Star-Based program. From there, we move up to providing a much-needed second chance to young men and women in our state from 16 to 18 years old through our Youth Challenge and Job Challenge programs. Notice I didn't call it the Youth Easy program. It's called the Youth Challenge program for a reason. But I'll tell you, that program has graduated more than 19,000 young men and women since the inception of the program. The sun never sets on your National Guard, and this year is no different. In the next few months, we will complete the deployment of over 2,100 service members around the globe in locations from our own southwest border right here in the United States to the Sinai Peninsula, across the Middle East, and Kosovo, just to name a few. When you consider all those requirements, in addition to our state partnership programs with the countries of Georgia and Argentina, I can tell you that your National Guard has never been more relevant or more engaged than it is today. We have service members from every county in the state of Georgia. In addition to all the missions we complete at home and abroad, your National Guard is responsible for more than $1.1 billion in economic impact in this state every single year. None of this would be possible without you and without your support. And in this chamber today, I know for a fact that we have a number of veterans that have stood in the gap between freedom and tyranny, and I'd like to ask, if you would, to stand and let us recognize you and thank you for your service and the example that you've set. You know, I told our organization earlier, the representatives that we brought here, is we call this National Guard Day at the Capitol. But the purpose of this is really for your National Guard to come into the people's house and thank you for what you do. The work you do in this building literally bends the mathematical odds in favor of our service members going to do the mission and returning home to their families safely. Evil never takes a day off. And men and women, that 0.5% of the U.S. population that puts on this uniform and stands in that gap between freedom and tyranny, many of them in the gallery here today, I can't tell you how humbled and honored I am to be in the room with you and to be able to represent the work and the commitment and the leadership and sacrifice of them, their families, and their employers. Thank you for what you do. May God bless you all. May God bless the state of Georgia and the United States of America.
How many years has the National Guard been in existence? So our Guard members are standing. Y'all remain standing. I want to make sure that we give you a round of applause and show you our appreciation for what you do every day for us. General, what a mission. Not only protecting us around the world and here at home, but helping the youth of our state. It's quite a mission. We can only try to show you our appreciation and thanks for the sacrifices you and your families make all the time, but especially when you're deployed. We appreciate that. Thank you for your vigilance. That's why we're able to be here today. That's why we enjoy the freedoms that we enjoy in this country. Because of 300 and how many years, General? 387 years, members, the Guard has been protecting Americans, protecting this country. So we owe them a huge debt of gratitude. Thank y'all for what you do, and thank you for being here with us and allowing us, General, to honor all the men and women of the Guards and honor you as well. What a great career of service you've had to the Guards and to the people of this state and this country. Thank you. Representative David Wilkinson is recognized for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today is the coolest Kids of the Capitol Day. It's CPA Day at the Capitol. And so my fellow CPA, John Carson, is across the street doing some important business over in the Senate. I want to recognize some of the students that are here that are CPA students from LaGrange, UGA, and Emory. If you don't mind standing up and waving to everybody. I think you're up in the gallery. Thank you for being here today, and welcome to the Capitol. So make sure you get to know them. These are the number folks. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Hey, we have one more special morning order, a special tribute. Chair Lady Ballinger has something she'd like to inform us about, and I think special at this time.
Thanks, y'all. It is National Guard Day, and I just want to give a shout out to my daughter, Alexandra Keene. She's actually in National Guard training at what was Fort Benning is now Fort Moore for her JAG Corps training. She joined the JAG Corps. She got commissioned late last year, and she is now in her first initial phase of that JAG training. So hats off to Alexandra Keene. I should say Lieutenant First Class Alexandra Keene. She's in the JAG Corps now, and she'll be going to Charlottesville shortly, but hats off to her. I'll send her this via email later today. She's obviously busy probably doing some sort of PT. But anyway, thanks, y'all. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And tell her we appreciate her service. I know we could all say this, but since I have the microphone right now, I have a member from my county, David Smith, is from down at the Air Guard in Savannah. We appreciate him being up here today. Many guardsmen around our communities all over this state. We appreciate their service. Members, if I can have your attention. Members, we have some important business. We need to, business for this state that's important, business for this house. It is our responsibility. So if I can have your attention. Pursuant to House Resolution 806 and OCGA 21-2-30, the next order of business is the nomination and election of the chairperson of the State Elections Board. The House is now open for nominations for the chairperson of the State Elections Board. Chair recognizes the gentleman from the 8th, Chairman Stan Gunther. Chairman Gunther, I think you're on now.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to nominate a dedicated public servant, John Verveer, as chairman of the Georgia State Election Board.
Chairman Gunther has nominated a dedicated Georgian, Mr. John Verveer, as chairman of the Elections Board. Chair now recognizes the gentleman from the 88th, Chairman Billy Mitchell, for a motion.
Mr. Speaker, I'm glad to have the honor to second a very dedicated and qualified Georgian and a constituent for chair of the State Election Board, John Verveer.
Thank you, Chairman Mitchell, for that second. The nomination is second. Now the chair, we appreciate you bringing him to our attention. And now the chair recognizes the majority leader for a motion.
Mr. Speaker, I move that nominations be closed.
Majority leaders move that the nominations be closed. Is there any objection to closing the nominations? Chair hears none, and the nominations are closed on the election of the chairperson of the State Elections Board. Those voting for the Honorable John Verveer should vote yes or green, and those opposed should vote no or red. And Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machine? Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine. On the election of the chairperson of the State Elections Board, the Honorable John Verveer received 160 votes, And boy, 0 nays. Having received a majority vote of the membership of the House of Representatives, the Honorable John Verveer is therefore declared elected chairperson of the State Elections Board. Mr. Clerk. Majority Leader is recognized for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the confirmation of John Verveer be immediately transmitted to the Senate.
Majority Leaders move that the nomination of an election of John Verveer be immediately transmitted to the Senate. Is there objection? It is so ordered. Thank you, members, for your attention. I hope you will all join with me with recognizing a former member of this body who served with distinction, my friend, Fran Millar. Fran, good to see you, Friday. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to a group of privileged resolutions?
Honoring the late Thomas B. Murphy, 69th Speaker of the Georgia House of Representatives, on the 100th anniversary of his birth. Honoring the life and memory of Dr. Tom Jacobs. Honoring the life and memory of Robert Bob Watkins, Sr. Commending and congratulating Jacob Lavoie, commending and congratulating Phoenix Sheridan, commending and congratulating Samuel Guido, recognizing and commending the Georgia Cancer Control Consortium, commemorating the 70th anniversary of the first flight of the Lockheed Martin C-130 Hercules transport aircraft, recognizing and commending the Honorable Rachel Galloway, recognizing and commending the Honorable Rosalind Kwan, recognizing and commending Hamza Yosef, congratulating Apu Inca, recognizing and commending Veronica Toscano de Leger, recognizing and commending the Government Liaison Office of Guadalupe in Georgia, recognizing and commending Bueno Energy Drink, recognizing and commending the Vietnamese Women's Association of Georgia, recognizing and commending the commitment of the Forsyth County delegation, the House of Representatives, recognizing and commending Pastor Daquindre Harnett on the occasion of his 16th pastoral anniversary, recognizing and commending Division Chief Keith Sudith, congratulating University of North Georgia women's softball team for winning the 2023 NCAA championship, congratulating and commending Senior Pastor Dr. Darrell E. Hall, recognizing February 1, 2024 is Wear Red Day. Recognizing and commending the Gotcha Covered Blankets program. Recognizing and commending Graham Blanks. Congratulating the Prince Avenue Fast Pitch softball team for winning the 2023 GHSA Class A Division I State Softball Championship. Congratulating the Prince Avenue Christian School football team for winning the GHSA Single A Division I Varsity Football State Championship. Recognizing and commending Travis Hyman. Recognizing and commending Grady Allen. And for other purposes, that completes the reading of the privileged resolutions.
Is there any objection to the privileged resolutions? The chair hears none, and the resolutions are adopted. Here's the course of business for the rest of the day. Members, if you'll listen up, This is what the chair is going to ask us to do. We have some important committee meetings that will kick off here in the 1 o'clock time frame. And I'm going to let the chairs of those committees come down and make sure if you have a 1 o'clock committee meeting and other announcements that may be pertinent, we're going to recess until 2:30 this afternoon until 2:30. We have some other business that we need to take up. So we're going to stand in recess until 2:30 after we have these announcements. So we have members that need to make announcements. Chairman Noel Williams is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, we have a banks and banking meeting at 2 o'clock in CLOB 406, 2 o'clock, 406 CLOB, and we will be out by 2:30. Thank you.
Stay on time. Thank you, sir. Representative Carter is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you.
Representative Doreen
Good
Carter.
morning, everyone. Just as a reminder, I've gotten a lot of questions. Next Thursday, February the 1st, please wear your red. It's Go Red for Women. We're going to have the American Heart Association will be here from 8 to 10 doing blood pressure checks, and then again from 10 to 2 doing blood pressure checks. So again, next Thursday, wear your red. Thank you.
Next Thursday, wear your red. We got it. Thank you. You might better remind us on Monday or so, though, probably. Chairman Williamson is recognized for an announcement. Chairman Williamson, you have an announcement?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just want to remind the Majority Caucus there will be a lunch and learn at noon in room 403. Very much encourage your attendance. It's lunch and learn noon, room 403 for the Majority Caucus today. Look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you, sir. Representative Dewey McLean, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to make everyone aware that the Working Family Caucus Luncheon will be in room CLOB 310, and today's we'll be talking about the state of work in Georgia, and Ray Kafani of GPI will be doing the presentation, and that's at noon, 310 CLOB. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative McLean. Representative Clint Crow. Here he is, Representative Crow.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Ways and Means Subcommittee meetings that were scheduled to begin at 1 o'clock this afternoon are canceled. We'll reschedule those for next week. House Ways and Means Subcommittee meetings that were scheduled for 1 will be canceled for today. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative. Chairman Jaspers, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Transportation will meet today at 1 o'clock after all the different lunches. I hope you'll be there. The Georgia highway contractors have something for you as a gift for your service. But also, if you attended the State of Transportation last night, it was a great event at the new Norfolk Southern building, and I appreciate their hosting that.
Glad you were there representing us well. That concludes our announcements. Members, if you have a page today, we're going to go ahead and greet our pledges with with a photo. So if you'll join us down front for page photos, that completes our announcements. This House will stand in recess until 2:30 p.m. today, and we'll come back to order. We'll see you at 2:30.